Welcome back to HVAC Shop Talk. I wanted to go right back to some of our lessons that we're going to derive from a spiritual source, the Bible, and get right back into how that applies to our HVAC careers. And really, we're spending a lot of time in the Gospels, and this time it's going to be Matthew as well. We did Matthew last time, and there's just a lot of information there. If you guys read that, even if you have no interest in the Bible itself or Christianity, reading the first 4 Gospels, I think, is a great idea. It might actually turn you on to some of that stuff, too. So, we're going to go back to Matthew. I'm going to show you the passage here. It's very familiar. It's called the Golden Rule. It starts right here at the bottom of the page. It says, the Golden Rule. So, whatever you wish that others would do for you, we're going to go up to the top, do also for them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter. Now, this part right here is not exact. This is not the golden rule that we all know and love right here. The second part here is a little bit ominous, but I want to read it because it is telling, especially from a biblical sense, where a lot of people, I think, are confused or unfortunately mistaken. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. Now listen to that. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate that is wide and the way that is easy leads to destruction. And those who enter it are many. So people that are basically going the wrong way, people that are heading the wrong way in life, that's basically an easy, wide gate to go through, and most people are heading that way. And that is the same as in the trade as in any other facet of life. It's really easy to cut corners and do the wrong thing and head down that path. And the fact that most of the trade does this at least a little bit, think about yourself, guys. A lot of us guys out there said, no, I try to do it the right way every time. But there's always a time or two that you cut corners or you do something you wouldn't do because of some other factor like time constraints. Maybe your family's angry at you. You've been out all night. Time to come home. Maybe you can't figure something out. You're just trying to kind of band-aid something so it'll work at least a little bit while you can hopefully figure it out, or at least you'll get out of there unscathed, hopefully. So let's take a look again at it. It says, enter by the narrow gate, for the gate that is wide and the way that is easy leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Now, we're also going to talk about a tree and its fruits a little bit later, and we have down here at the bottom, asking it will be given, as well as judging others. There's a lot of good stuff right here. And as you can see, the red words are the words of Christ. So just keep that in mind if you are unfamiliar with this stuff. So basically what we're saying here, and even though I'm taking the biblical sense out of our explanation as far as the trade, the biblical sense is basically that the people that are going to follow Christ and really be saved by Christ and have him in their hearts are few. And the many are going to be the ones that are led astray, and they stay there. So it's kind of depressing. It's a little bit sad to know that most of the people out there are not going to go the way that the Bible wants them to go and that the Lord wants them to go. But that is a separate subject from what we're talking about here. But it applies to the trade almost perfectly because we do the same thing. There's so few of us that go through there. And I say us. I've cut plenty of corners in my life, and I've tried to come to terms with that. And I try, but we all falter and we all fail at doing this. No one's perfect on the job. No one will ever be perfect, but we can strive to be more perfect. If you see imperfection out there, don't duplicate it. Don't take it as a rubber stamp that you can do whatever you want in the field. Strive to be better than you are now. Try to learn something new. Question things that you learn. Make sure you have the right information. And if you see others doing the wrong thing, speak up and tell them. They may dislike you, they may be angry, but at least you've said something that will improve their lives and really their customers' life too. Because think about this. The consequence of these actions, the negative actions that we might take, are that the customers will pay for something and not get what they paid for. Even if you discounted it because you feel bad, if you didn't do the best job you could, it's a disservice. Complete disservice. A lot of people, including myself, would have found problems with that statement over the course of our career because we lack that confidence, we lack that integrity at some point because of some compromise you've had to make. And it's really tough to make yourself not do that. I've done plenty of things I'm not proud of in my life. Plenty of things. And in HVAC, I could say the same thing. But I will say this. I'm trying not to do those things anymore. I don't do a whole lot of field work. When I go out in the field, I try to do the right thing, try to explain things to a T. And if I were to not be able to do something or do something incorrectly, I would fess up to it right there, right then. We've all done it. Hit a line and busted all the refrigerant charge out. What do? Do you say, there was some kind of failure in the unit, lost all its charge, I'm going to have to repair it? Or do you say that I did it? It's my fault. It's a really interesting subject, and I know we're all humans. We all make mistakes. That's why I wanted to say that, because I've said some things to customers that weren't true before. I know that I've done that on more than one occasion. It's a big regret in my life, but all I can do is change it from here forward. So don't think that what you've done in the past means you can't be a better technician. You can't learn, because you can start today and do that. So, all right, guys, that was the Matthew 7:12 through, that's chapter 7, 12 through 14. That's what we were talking about right there. If you want to reference it, very first book of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Read those if you ever have the inkling you want to learn more about this, and at least this is going to help your life to read this stuff. It's going to help your life immensely. Just recently, I started reading the Bible again after a long time of not really reading much at all. But I'm trying to read a little bit every day, about a chapter a day. And what I found is that the words inside will really speak to you and help you if you live by those words. Just taking a totally secular look at it. You read these words, you're better off. If you don't believe a single word about the religious aspects of it, just the advice is good. So, all right, guys. That's my little spiel for today. If you want to catch a little bit of learning this evening, 8 p.m., it's Friday night. It's the November the 20th, 2020. We have a live show tonight with David Richardson from NCI. He was here last week talking about CO. This week's going to be combustion analysis, a little intro to it. I encourage you to come by, maybe learn something, ask some questions. If you want some answers to a question about combustion analysis or CO that you don't have an answer to, David's a pretty good guy about knowing the answers to those questions. Come by tonight. It's not on this channel. It's on the HVAC Training Videos channel, and you can find that in the description of this video. So go down in the description. There's a ton of links right there. You can help support the channel through Subscribestar. You can subscribe to HVAC Training Videos, where the event tonight is located. You can subscribe to the Skilled Trade Up. That's our game show where you can win tools. Any tech that needs tools, a young tech, it's perfect for that. As long as you know a few answers, you might win a few tools. It's a fun game, and I'm taking multiple people at the same time to play. So we're having this whole thing where we start out with 4 guys. Then as people get stuff wrong, it whittles the group down, and we're not doing an all or nothing prize anymore. We're letting you keep all the prizes that you win, and at the end you can risk it for a grand prize if you want to, but that's totally optional. So the grand prizes have been the Yellow Jacket wireless scale. The very first show we used a NAVAC vacuum pump. We haven't given that away yet, so that's going to be back. And of course, NAVAC hydraulic swages too. So, all right, guys, I'll stop it there. We've gone a little bit longer than I like to, a little 8 minutes. I like to keep them really short so you can watch them really quick. So I'm gonna get out of here. Come by tonight. I'll put on the screen here in just a second. You'll see the channel HVAC Training Videos. A link you can hit right there, a little circle on the screen, and there'll be a square for the event tonight. After today, which is 11/20/20, like I was saying, you can still watch the event, but you can come back to watch them live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for holidays. Thanksgiving, we're going to take off. And any days like Christmas and stuff like that, Christmas Eve. Okay, guys, take care. Have a good week. Work safe. And I hope to see you tonight.